Mission at Grassroots. Way back in 1988, I went to develop a case study on the first corporate hospital of India, which had earned a name as a highly respected super specialty hospital in a little over 4 years of its establishment despite all adversities. As I went to meet the general manager administration at reception, he took me to the lift and asked me to get in and moved swiftly to a side ramp. When I reached the 5th floor, he was there in a minute, smiling to receive me. On being asked as to why he did not join me in the lift, he said, "The lift is meant for patients. No other person except chairman, a cardiologist, among us, including the chief executive, joint chief executive, who was chairman's daughter, the other general managers, officers, staff at various floors, don't use it. We go by ramp, maybe 4 or 5 times a day. If we use the lift operator may give preference to us, not to the patient." When I met the chief of food and beverages, who had joined from Hotel Chola Sheraton, he said, My experience in Chola is of no use here. I had to prepare over 700 unique liquid diets every day for close to 300 patients. We had to ensure that the diet of not only the patient but even guests reach them within very tight time frame, because if it does not, the condition of the patient may be adversely affected. Experience of meeting the matron in charge of housekeeping was no different. She welcomed me but kept on counting bed linens and pillow covers. I was getting restless. After about 20 minutes, she finished counting and turned to me. "Sorry, sir, to keep you waiting. What can I do for you?" she asked. Unable to control myself, I asked, "Could not you attend to me first and then counted bed linens?" She replied, "Sir, our laundry is unable to take increased load. We have, therefore, to bank upon the service of outside washermen. I had to check the bed linen and pillow covers to be able to issue bed linen on time twice a day. Why don't you issue once in 2 days or a week, or when the patient is discharged, as in government hospital in our city, they change it when the patient is discharged or goes abroad?" I said. "What?" She almost cried, with eyes and mouth wide open, and in a state of shock, she mumbled, "But what will happen to the patient? He will get infection." Irrespective whom I met, from Joint Chief Executive to EDP Manager, the word patient echoed in our conversation. I understood that the mission, patient care, has percolated down the organization as shared values, and people knew what to do in situations when rules are not clear. Another instance, in a far-off place from India, a city called Sabadell, about 40 kilometers from Barcelona in Spain, a Pak-Toli consortium hospital was formed by merger of 4 hospitals because their financial condition had deteriorated in a way that they were not able to contribute to even mandatory national security fund. 2 of the hospitals belonged to municipality, one was owned by a private saving bank and one by a mutual funds company. After going through a lot of post-merger turmoil for integration, for over 5 years, the hospital had emerged as an Olympic referral hospital. I had heard a lot of good things about the hospital and its staff and held them in high esteem. But when I visited there, I was in for a shock with a lot of noise, slogan shouting, etc. I asked the doctor who had accompanied me as to what was it all about. He replied that the staff is protesting against the government on wage issue. He added, "Don't worry, it will stop after half an hour." Looking at my inquisitive eyes, he said, "The staff is agitating to express solidarity with unions who have organized nationwide protest on the issue. But the staff here protests only during lunch hour, as they don't want that patient should suffer for no fault of theirs on the issue." The organization chart of the hospital was also peculiar, with a thick border demarcating people in 2 sets, one with patient in the center and medical units around it within the border and all other staff outside the border. On being asked, the chief of planning explained it as expression of centrality of patients. If anything happens to him, no one outside the border is required. Message was loud and clear to a visitor like me that patient care has become a shared value in that hospital. We talk so much of mission and shared values, but I wonder how many of us realize the benefit of it, thought the case writer.